Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for the third and final part of the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first question. Hey coach, what's the best way to quit alcohol? Love the vids, coach. Oh man, that's a tough one. I feel for you there if you've got an alcohol problem, because I have had an ex who is an alcoholic, and alcoholism runs in my family, and I've seen what it can do to people. I really have. So, I mean, hopefully you're just deciding that maybe, hey, you just want to quit and you're not a true alcoholic. And I would say I enjoy drinking. I'm someone who drinks regularly. I love drinking in social settings. But by that same token, there have been times where I just didn't feel like drinking and I just quit for like 5 or 6 months and didn't bother to have a drink. So if you're someone like me and you just think maybe you just want to step away from it, then it's that simple. Just don't drink. But if you think that you really have a problem, man, that's a tough one. I'm going to suggest you get into some programs. You know, there's Alcoholics Anonymous. I do know people who've had a lot of success with AA. I do know people who have. I had an uncle who actually had great success with AA after being a pretty serious alcoholic. I'd recommend that. The other thing you've got to look at is, man, you've got to cut out your bros who party too much. And, I mean, they might be really good friends, but if you feel like it's becoming a problem and you have friends who drink excessively, you're going to need to cut them out of your social circle for a while. You got to get out of that party scene if it's starting to become a problem for you. And, like I said, so if you're actually asking about this, I'm going to assume maybe you're going in that direction. So that's the first steps I would look at, man. And some people don't want to hear this. Pray about it. Pray to God about it. Ask for some guidance. Ask for some strength. Maybe look into some of the programs that are out there like AA. Start changing your social circle. That's what you need to do, brother. Because, if you're starting to feel like it's becoming a problem for you, even if you're not really a true alcoholic yet, that's probably a good time to step away for a bit, to step away from the drinking. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all to recognize that before it becomes a problem, if you think it's going to be in the future. All right, next question. Hi coach, what are your thoughts on the rep goal system? If you like it, what is an example of how you would use it in a program? Thanks. Rep goal systems, I don't know that I would use them as a regular part of a main program. Do I think rep goal systems can be extremely useful for breaking a plateau? I'm going to say yes. So let me give you a perfect example of what I mean. Let's say that you are doing a 5x5, which is not something I'm famous for. Let's say you're doing a 5x5 and you've been stuck at 235 pounds on that 5x5. And when you try to go up to 237.5 with micro plates, you start running into problems. You can't progress. You start ending up being a rep short. You can't even get all 25 reps. What I would recommend, that's where a rep goal system helps, where you go ahead and you go up to that new weight, that 237.5 or even 240, and you take as many sets as you need to get to the 25 reps, right? Because you've already done it with 235, right? You've done it with 235 for 5x5, but you're not quite strong enough to finish 5 sets of 5. So you need to start breaking it up into multiple sets of 4. And it literally might be that you have to do 6 sets of 4 and then come in and do a single, or 5 sets of 4, then a triple, then a double to hit that weight. And that might be what you have to do to get there. But what you'll find is that if you can break it up into multiple sets and get it in the volume, you can start cutting it down the number of sets you're doing, right? Before long, you can get to where you can get it down to a 5x5. Once you've done it for 25 total reps spread out over, say, 7 sets, you can eventually work it down to that for the 5x5. So it's just a different way to help break through a plateau. That's where I think rep goal systems like that can be really, really helpful, is when you've plateaued. You've hit a plateau in your performance on a lift and you need to push past it by getting that volume any way that you can. You might not be able to do it in the target number of sets you'd like and you're stuck. You can use it to get unstuck. And I think that's where a system like that can come in handy. Just my opinion on it. All right, next question. Hey Jason, I've been doing tbarrows for the last 4 months or so and I've made pretty good progress. However, now it's slowing down. I'm also pretty sick of this exercise. I'm thinking of doing cailer, woolam, deadlift rows instead, because I really like the idea. What do you think about this movement, and will it interfere with my leg training the next day, or will I adapt over time? Currently doing an upper-lower split. Thanks, coach. Um, I actually like it. I don't do it personally. I prefer stricter pin lays or closer to a strict pin lay. But as a deadlift accessory and the way he does it, do I think it has merit and value? Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely see how it would have carryover to a deadlift. Uh, I actually like T-bar rows, even though I program the pin lay row and do the pin lay row. I've done periods of time where I got super strong on the very, very narrow grip T-bar row. I think they're actually pretty good mass builder, to be honest. But I think pin lay rows have better carryover to other exercises, so I tend to promote those instead. Yeah, I think it's fine, even though it is considered to be kind of a bizarre cheat row. It's still pulling from the floor, and then you're incorporating extra muscles and some hip drive and everything in it. No, I think the way Cailer does those rows, with him being a deadlift specialist, I can assure you they probably have contributed to his deadlift. They probably have, and I don't think they're a bad choice at all. So I would say if you're really, really sick of what you're doing right now, and you want to go over to do those for a while to see how they carry over and see how it works for improving your deadlifts and stuff, as far as a back exercise, yeah, give them a go. I think it's a pretty good exercise overall. And again, I've never seen anyone do it before he started doing it, but it does make sense. When I look at that, I can say, okay, I can see why he's doing that to improve his deadlift, and it's a general back exercise. It actually works. It works. So I will give my thumbs up for this exercise. All right, next question. Hi, Jason. I have a lot of trouble gaining weight and was wondering if I could bulk using mostly liquids. Lots of cashew milk, green smoothies, orange juice, etc. Cashew milk? Are you messing with me? No, if you want to gain weight, then eat the cashews, man. Don't drink cashew milk. Nut milks are the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm just going to be honest with you. Green smoothies, also stupid. Eat your vegetables. Orange juice, probably reasonable if you're struggling, but here's what I would say. Yeah, liquid calories will help, but truth be told, if you're a hard gainer, you're struggling to get enough calories in, you probably need to trim your protein back just a little bit. You probably need to up your fat, and you probably need to not go as crazy on the fiber, right? Because when you're in a calorie surplus, it's easy to get plenty of nutrients if you're eating just whole foods, right? You're not needing to go crazy on all the vegetables. Especially if you're struggling to get enough calories in. You don't need to go super crazy on the protein because it can be too satiating. So you might want to look back and say, okay, if I'm stuck at 180 pounds body weight and I'm eating 200 grams of protein, cut back to 150. Replace those calories with some extra fat. Now, the cashews, peanut butter, natural almond butter, cashew butter, those are foods you could be slamming down if you are struggling with gaining weight. If you're struggling with gaining weight on a bulk and you know that you're skinnier than you want to be, that's the direction I would probably push you. A lot of those healthier fats like that would be a good way to go. In addition to just some good steak, steak and peanut butter, brother. Steak and peanut butter if you're struggling to gain weight. And don't neglect your carbs. But you don't need to be sitting around drinking green smoothies and nut milks and silly shit like that. I'm sorry, that's not going to help you with your goals. Pound down those other foods, those whole foods. You're going to need to increase your fat a little bit, cut your protein back a bit. I mean, seriously, every fat person, do you know, how do they get fat? They get fat by eating lots of fat. But the joking aside on that, no, seriously, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do, brother. All right, next question and last question of the week. Jason, please help, very confused. So my body fat is not where I want it. I'm working on that. But what blows my mind is I can easily squat and deadlift 315. Damn, girl. But I cannot do basic conditioning such as jogging or pull-ups, etc. to save my soul. Why, when I'm so strong with free weights? I'm tired of feeling out of breath and out of shape. Start with some resistance-based GPP. Look, if you want to bring your conditioning up and you know you have one hell of a strength base, and as a woman, if you're squatting and pulling anywhere near 3 plates a side, you got the strength, girl. You got the strength. Start doing some barbell complexes. Do farmer's walks. Do some sled drags, right? Work in some resistance-based general physical preparedness to get your conditioning up. That's going to rely more upon the strengths that you have, and that will get your conditioning up to speed real fast. Fortunately for us as humans, we gain conditioning much faster than we gain strength. So you already have the strength, you have the potential for the work capacity there. Go ahead and use it to your advantage to do strength-based conditioning work like that. And your cardio will get on point in no time. Seriously, start doing those things and just gradually work them up. Even if you start with amounts that make you out of breath immediately, that you feel pitiful, trust me, in 6 weeks, if you start doing them 2 or 3 times a week and work them in gradually and just gradually increase the workload, 6 weeks from now, you're going to be laughing at that. You'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. But seriously, your lifts are phenomenal. They're phenomenal for a woman. So I got to give you major props for that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.